Live already. That was quick. So just a quick chat, really. So somebody sort of nudged me, and I thought, yeah, why not? Why not just have a quick chat? And it's going to be quick because it's getting on for 2 a.m. in the morning here. So my bed will no doubt start shouting my name and saying, "Where the bloody hell are you?" So we INFJ, Captain Kidd still beat you. Told you it wasn't too late. You did indeed. So I thought, well, why not? Um, I don't know how you knew I was still awake at 1:30 in the morning, but hey ho, it is what it is. Hi, Captain Kidd. How you doing? So we all create our own destiny, and those people that have this victim mentality, it's crazy because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Those sort of statements, and you choose in every event that takes place in your life, you choose how to move forward from it. And the best way to do it is not blame anyone else. Every decision you make in your life is your choice. And those things that happen that are good, you take credit for. And the things that happen that are bad, you blame other people. So take credit for the things that are bad in your life because you chose that person or you chose that job or you chose whatever it was you chose. You made the decision to go down that path and it bit you up the bum. So take responsibility for it, learn from it, and then move on. You know, tomorrow's another day, as they say. So in this world at this point in time, it's all a blame culture and a victim mentality, and nobody seems to want to say, look, I'm in this position because I put myself here. It's my fault. I made the decisions, and each of those decisions took me down a path and left me here. And if you're at the top of the mountain, great. And if you're at the bottom of the mountain, still great because you've learned or should have learned all of those things that left you at the bottom of the mountain to give you enough information and enough knowledge to help you get to the top. And if Earth is a school, which it is, then all of those lessons that put you in a bad position, if you learn or remembered them or analysed them or however you want to put it, chances are each step forward is going to be easier because you shouldn't make the same mistakes again. And therefore the climb will be a lot easier. Whether you're 10 or 60, it doesn't make no difference. Once you learn the lesson, each step forward is a positive, even if it's a bad experience. Each bad experience helps you move forward, knowing what the outcome was and how you ended up there. So whilst I'm not saying life's great, life isn't always great. Bad things happen, but those bad things shouldn't be blamed on other people. Even though other people do bad things to you, allowing them to keep doing bad things to you is up to you. Admittedly, you have to know that people are doing bad things to you. And that's when, you decide to take charge. You take your power back, you take, your energy back, you rid yourself of all the contracts that don't serve your highest good, those contracts that you don't even know nothing about, or those contracts that you signed before you came to this earth, or however it is that these people talk about all this stuff, it doesn't matter. You just say, look, no, no longer. If I'm going to learn on this earth. I want to learn, with a fresh slate and a contract that I'm fully aware of, and none of these hidden clauses to do with, the birth canal when you're born and they own your name and all of this BS that has been hidden in plain sight for us mere humans. So you're right, it wasn't too late. I think those people involved in the thrill of the chase have no idea, none. And I'm talking, the thousands that are outside of it that don't know nothing about it, that haven't, not still in it. Those are the people I'm talking about, not the people that are in it, because most of the people that are in it know absolutely what happened in the thrill of the chase. And I don't think that anything's really hidden at this point in time. There won't be many people that are involved in the thrill of the chase that haven't got some sort of idea that, what's transpired. 6-7 years ago, something came on my computer, on the laptop, whatever, and showed a chest, of treasure, and talked about the thrill of the chase. And I think it was AGK. I'm not brilliant at remembering stuff, days, dates, and those sort of things, but that lured me into the thrill of the chase. What the people in the thrill of the chase don't realise is once the realisation of the bait was known, I then became bait myself and put myself into the public eye in 2020 when I made the statement, or statements, they're pretty important. One of those is I'm not searching anymore. Another was who's who in the zoo. If I couldn't trust it, I've said all these things before, but if Forrest says don't trust anybody, not even him, then who can you trust? And there were people in the poem, and I wanted to know who was who in the zoo. Like who actually could be trusted in the thrill of the chase. And it seemed that nobody could be trusted. There was information in the poem about wealthy people, let's say wealthy people. And, for just a treasure hunt, and I'm thinking, hang on, what? Why are these people in this poem? Like, what is their involvement? Especially when Forrest talked about Walmart and, those people were in the poem. And I'm thinking, okay then, what's the story behind all of this? And the more I looked into the poem, the more people I found and the more stories there were, which wasn't good. And all the while thinking, Forrest couldn't have done this. There is no way Forrest could have put all this together. Not because it couldn't be done, but because it was talking about future events. And, if Forrest did do this, talking about future events as well, then how was he getting the information? Because I'm getting information through the poem, But Forrest didn't have the poem to get the information. So where was he getting the information to put into the poem? And how was he putting all of this information into this, little poem? So it started to get a bit weird. And I told everybody, at the very beginning, that the poem talked of time travel and aliens and all sorts of weird and wonderful things that people wouldn't believe. But absolutely, those things are in there. And some of them are scary and some of them are not nice. And some of them are great. Some of them talk about a lottery win. And nobody wants to believe it, but it's there. So you have to start thinking, if Forrest said it was written by a higher hand, then you have to believe that either it was given to Forrest as is, or Forrest got that information from a higher hand, along with the book has to write itself, because if it doesn't, I struggle. So where was all this information coming from? Where was Major Forrest Burke then getting this information from, if it wasn't himself? Then you get the other things. Does anybody know about my secret treasure? It's like, you don't ask that 3 years into a treasure hunt. You just don't. So what was Forrest talking about? Along with, I always thought I deserved the throne. Has nothing to do with the treasure hunt. More to do with royalty, along with his purple sweater and that. So not only was he telling you there's a different treasure that you should be looking for, or trove, whichever way you want to see it, he was telling you that there was something regal or royal in regard to the thrill of the chase. And he knew who this royal was. Or he must have known who this royal person was, who this special person was that deserved a throne, and that he could be that person. Past life, present life, whatever. So there's something going on early on in the chase where Forrest was saying, here's some information to do with some royalty that I may or may not be, because I always thought I deserved a throne, and if not for my name, I would have nothing. And who is the real Major Forrest Burke fan? Or I don't think he said Major Forrest Burke fan. Who is the real Forrest fan? I hope nobody ever finds out. So my journey into the thrill of the chase was a bit weird, because while people were looking at the poem, beginning at where warm waters halt, looking on the map and then going and doing all these things, my thoughts were, well, if it's been here for 8 or 9 years, however long it was going before I joined the chase, if it's been here for that long and everybody has done the same sort of solve, that can't be the way to solve it. It just can't be. Because there's only so many warm waters halt, there's only so many canyon down, there's only so many Homer Browns that could potentially fit in those 4 states. Bearing in mind there's supposed to be 350,000 people that went. But even if there was 1,000 people, there's only so many solves that potentially could have been viable, because they need, the warm waters halt, the Homer Brown, no place for the meat. They need all those things in those areas. And if you listen to Forrest, they had to be very close together. Had to be very close together if you were listening to Forrest. So anybody who had a solve that was 2 miles, well, at any any distance. But when I first went into the chase, it was like 2 miles, because that is an official too far to walk, because that was when they would allow you to get a bus to school, because it was too far to walk. If it was anything more than that, probably just under 2 miles. So if it was 2 miles, it was too far to walk. So that was an official too far to walk. So Forrest is basically saying anybody who has a solve that is more than 2 miles has to be wrong. So you could limit those solves that people were doing that were more than that. And I found, lots of solves, as I told everybody, and those solves were already in the poem. So I didn't even have to study a map. I could just look at the poem and then find what the solve was, and then look at the map and find out what that was. Not that I did that all the time, because I did what everybody else did. I looked at the map, found a warm waters hole, and went from there, which was, my first attempt was Colorado, because Cripple Creek, which was Holt is Cripple. So Warm Waters Holt was Cripple Creek. And then from there, I went to something stars for the blaze. It went down Old Phantom Canyon Road or something. Can't remember. Long time ago. So Cripple Creek, then Phantom Road, and then I think it went left to, no, if you're looking at the map, it went right to that place where this person did some sculptures, and they were made of metal, and there was a sun or something there. So I did that sort of solve at the beginning, then did loads of solves and sent, Forest emails, obviously, never replied, but I started doing those sort of solves and had a solve for Wyoming, Casper, Crimson Dawn. I keep saying Crimson Dawn, and that's in a film. So I keep wondering if I've got that right. But I think it is Crimson Dawn because it's warm waters. It doesn't sound right, but Crimson something. Anyway, Casper Mountain. It's on the other side of Casper Mountain. No, if you look at the Casper Mountain, it's on this side of Casper Mountain, but on the other side when I went to Wyoming. And it was when I was in Wyoming that I realised that it was all BS. That I didn't need to be in America, and I was a greedy twat, to be fair, to have, greedy, selfish, all sorts of things, to have actually gone through that process, and to be standing, on a hillside looking around thinking, what an idiot. So, but, again, no victim stuff. This was a lesson to learn. What was the lesson to be learned from this? Well, the lesson to be learned was it has nothing to do with following that bullshit in the poem. It has nothing to do with being at where warm waters halt and taking the canyon down, not far but too far to walk. It has nothing to do with solving the poem. And Forrest actually hid the chest in the poem by sending you the wrong way. By reading the poem the way that it was, you're never going to find it. Ever. Ever. Anybody who read the poem the way that it's written was never going to find the answer. So that's what I found out. I went to Wyoming and found out I was so selfish and greedy and stupid and pathetic. And like I say, the good thing was I ended up in Canada and I did a good deed for a lady that obviously wasn't in a very good place. And I would love to meet that lady because I'd like to know how she got on. Even though I did what I did, I still feel, some sort of concern that she ended up okay. So whilst my life at that time was shit because I had a very low opinion of myself, I was in a foreign country. I was in a cold, flipping airport with, no clothes because my luggage and that wasn't with me. So whilst everything was going bad, there was somebody that was also in a bad place. And not that that made me feel better, but that made me understand that, not everything that you think is the end of the world is the end of the world, because there's other people that really might have worse things that are, to them the end of the world. So in a way, it was a big wake-up call going over to America, realising the sort of person I was. Whilst I was selfish, greedy, I wasn't without a heart. Uh, I'm still caring. So I had to look at myself, and that's when things changed. I realised that the things that were happening to me, whilst they were other people interfering, I was allowing that interference. I was accepting it. And people throughout the chase made comments which made, it worse. Like, have you ever met Forrest Fenn, Mario? Obviously not. Like, it was such a weird question. People forget or don't realise that they say things and I pick up on them. And it's like, you're saying that because at some point in time, you know that Forrest Fenn had or knows something about me. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask it. Because you knew that anybody who knew me at that time knew that I had no contact with Forrest Fenn. And in my videos, I let it known that I had no contact with Forrest Fenn. So for someone to say that meant that there was some connection between me and Forrest that I didn't know about. And people start talking about cults and all sorts of things. And I'm thinking, what's going on? What are all these weird statements for? And then you get the gaslighting and all the other stuff. And you think, what's that all about? And so doing the poem gave me an insight as to who was in the zoo, even the real names of people. So the alias was in there, as I pointed out, about Troy. His real name, not that bullshit name that you read, but the real names. So who you could end up with by the time you've done Why Must I Go on Troy Barlow and that, who you could end up with. And what the solve was. And whilst his actual solve was 5 springs, in the poem it says 5 waters. So you find the word waters 5 times and you take it to the campground and it brings you to the right hand side of the poem. And everybody else's solve took you to the right hand side of the poem. And everybody else's name was in there. And I'm thinking, how is that possible? Because Forrest didn't know these people. Or did he? But I knew that Forrest didn't know me, or I thought Forrest didn't know me. So I tried to prove the poem wrong by looking for I've said all this to people in my videos, by looking for the passwords, my passwords. Like, if Forrest Fenn did know me without my knowledge, he wouldn't know my passwords. Even if he could find out my addresses and everything, he couldn't find out my passwords. But they were in the poem as well, which meant there is only one person, one being, anywhere, in anyone's reality, that can know that. And that's God. And at this point in time, we are almost seeing the powers that be creating God through AI. They are building something in their own image, a robot that looks like a man or a woman. It is all seeing and all knowing. It operates in the cloud. And I'm thinking, wow, this is a bit too much. Why would that be necessary? Like, why would people want to do that? So it's not AI. AI doesn't have my password, although it may do because it's connected to everything. So if it's God, and I'm not, religious, as far as I said, not religious, probably the most spiritual person. So I do now believe in, I never even knew about spirituality before, but I do believe in spirituality now, and I don't believe in religion. Absolutely don't. I believe that each religion has been falsified to any extent, whether it's 1% or 50%, doesn't matter. Excuse me. If it's been falsified, it can't be. You shouldn't be following it because it's been written by men, Anunnaki, Sumerians, whatever. Whoever wrote it, doesn't matter. It's been falsified by beings, which then leads you to, well, why the agenda? And then you have to start thinking, when Forrest says nothing is as it seems, and life is nothing as it seems, because of these discrepancies within the religious text. Nothing is as it seems in life, and nothing is as it seems in the chase. Is Forrest working off the same blueprint to hide in plain sight what it is that you need to know? So finding out that the thrill of the chase was bullshit, not, bullshit. So everything that you were talking about on the vlogs, everything, 9 Mile Hole, the GPS, every other flipping bullshit solve that came out. While you were all talking about that, I was thinking, no, that's not it, because anybody that's gone further than Warm Waters Holt has gone too far. If you've gone further than Warm Waters Holt, you've gone too far. That's it. And Forrest, pretty much said that. Sold the first 2 clues, walked right by the chest. So anybody who moves from that spot didn't have a decent solve. And yet, we're getting all sorts of solves coming up. And people making all sorts of bullshit. And Forrest comes out with, well, nothing is as it seems, which means Jack is another distraction. and the chest is just the lure, which it says in the poem. So you have a lure, then you have a finder that is just a distraction, and that carries on for years. And then the family admit that that's the finder. But if Forrest is saying nothing is as it seems, and Forrest doesn't recognize that Jack is the finder, that means there really is some bullshit going on. Then we have those videos that talk about the forest fire and taking the chest off the finder and see how they react and all that bull. And then you just have to let them, this is when you buy the rope, making sure it's really nice rope, but just giving them enough rope and letting them, hang themselves with it. So the chase was resolved. Could have been resolved in 2020. Finished, done. But for whatever reason, the plan was changed. And Forrest doesn't like making plans because they're antagonistic to freedom. And I mentioned that when the chest was found, Forrest looked pissed. He looked angry, not quite knowing what to do, which is not the response you expect. So I told people that Forrest said, big things will happen. That's me taking flack. All of those things, which meant something was going to happen. And he would not be thought of in a good light. So was he forewarning that there's going to be some BS? Yes, he was, because there was. So we went through the BS, and 3D Bronze came up with a story about a Emmett being chucked off a balcony. Who killed him? What's the answer? And that gave you a game of chess, and the answer all faithful to get through to a video, which got you a bank account, which was then hijacked by these people. And like I say, I'm not going to judge no one. You do what you want to do. It's your life. You've got to take the consequences of what happens. So I gave enough information about, pretty much I know what's going on and I know what's going to happen because it's written in the poem, and nobody took any notice. In 2021, people started getting shady. 2022, they were supposed to do something, didn't, but started to get, I don't know, not desperate. Didn't get desperate till about 2023, 2024, when what they used to do, which had an effect, wasn't having the same effect. So they started getting help off other people. So paying better people to do, more professional things. And in December, they were supposed to do the right thing, and they didn't. Hence, epic, fun, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. Forrest said Lady Luck didn't spin a fickle web, but I think greed did. And I think they enlisted the help of more and more people and got deeper and deeper into the we're going to keep it and we're not going to give it. That's how it ended up. We're going to keep it and we're not going to give it, no matter what. And we're going to employ all of these different efforts to leave what we've got being the answer and getting rid of anything that isn't. But they underestimated the being they were up against, because they thought they were against a human being, and they're not. They're against a really powerful force. And whilst in the past what they did worked, it was never ever going to work. And all they were doing was creating the spider's web that I was talking about, where everybody was getting in touch with everybody and trying to create a scenario that wasn't true. It was all bullshit. And, getting people to believe that and thinking that, people didn't know, or I didn't know. So these people in the chase, maybe, connected to, I know, people in Germany, people in Russia, people all over the world, people in Australia, people in Africa, Spain, obviously people in the United States. It went up the ladder, and either has happened, I think it's happened. The big bosses, like, they've said, "Oi, what are you doing? Why are you pissing this person off? What you've been doing? This is not the way we run our business." If you call it a business, whatever it is, those people know what I'm talking about. So they've called him in and said, "You shouldn't be doing this." So give them a dressing down. Either have, or we're going to call them in. I think they have. That's how I read it, that they have told them in no uncertain terms that you shouldn't have done, or, this is not the way we operate, which I don't know. So that's why I said there are some nice people, some good people, and some bad people. So there are some good Masons, and there are some bad Masons. There are some good elites, and there are some bad elites, covens, cults, whatever. There are some good ones, which, every time somebody says the word witch, people think of a bad person, but you get good witches, good wizards. The term witch gets a bad reputation because not every witch is a bad witch. And people insinuating that me, or, the 144,000, doesn't matter whether I'm talking about me or loads of other people, insinuating that we're the people doing the bad things, which is, just a projection. That the things that they're doing, they're saying that they're the things that I'm doing, or they're the things that other people are doing. So this should have finished when it should have finished, when you get epic and fun and those sort of things. And people were asking me, and I told them, when it should finish, and like people in chat. And that was the truth. That's when it should have finished. Like December the 15th and December the 22nd, those things should have happened. Those things should have took place. And they didn't. And those things that thing that took place in October shouldn't have took place, shouldn't have happened. Or Thanksgiving shouldn't have happened, but did. A naughty thing, or naughty things. So whilst these people were trying to do bad things secretly, everything was known. Everything was known. It was like I was my own private detective, and like solving my own crime, not my crime, their crime, but solving it, my crime against me. And crime against other people, not just me, crimes against other people, like Heather and stuff like that. So, Robert, these people doing bad things, 2 kids, their own children, and claiming that they had a miscarriage when they didn't, had an abortion, like trying to lie to those people around them and thinking that it's not seen, but it's seen. It's just confirmation because the light went on there. Everything is seen. I was just saying about AI, all seeing, all knowing. But God is the first superhero. God is the first Superman. So if you look at it like this, if you take everything that's been written or filmed, anything that has anything to do with Superman, and you get rid of it all, who is going to be the Superman? Probably Hancock or someone like that, somebody that's been brought in that does those sort of things. If you know Hancock, Will Smith. So nobody knows about Superman, but Hancock is there, and then everybody says, not everybody, these people say Hancock is the Superman. That's what you need to look at as Superman. And yet, in reality, Superman was Superman. So they take away all the information, put this narrative in front of people, and expect people to believe that because that's all there is, or that's what they think there is. They think they've got rid of all the information, but they missed a few things. And unfortunately, they've been caught out. So now all of those things are being brought to the surface. So a god or goddess like Isis, who is known all over the world, including England, throughout the Roman Empire, throughout Greece, throughout Afghanistan, all those, anywhere. A goddess called Isis, a goddess of many different names, to be fair, but this female has hardly anything spoken about her. And yet Christianity went all around the world. People made it their mission to go around the world and preach Christianity and kill all those that didn't believe in it. And yet this beautiful goddess, who is all around the world already, is forgotten, along with Osiris and Horus, who they themselves could be the Trinity. So I realised while I was in the thrill of the chase that I was being told BS, and found out that not only was I told BS because of the thrill of the chase, I was told BS throughout my whole life. My whole life was bullshit. Whilst I didn't go to church and believe in the Bible and, pray to Jesus and pray to God, I knew that somebody was helping me through life, like getting me out of sticky situations when I had no right to. And I probably should have been dead, so many times over, it's unreal. Before now, not just now, but before now. And I, to this day, in 2004, I don't know how I survived, because I had a pulmonary embolism. As soon as I woke up, I had the issue, and I did a day's work, drove home, then drove to the hospital and that. Obviously walking around, which you shouldn't do. But so all of this walking around at any time, any second, 1 second, I could have been dead. Like that could have moved, blocked off my air, and killed me. And when I say I could hardly walk and hardly breathe, I could hardly walk and hardly breathe. I was taking dolly steps and I was fucked. Like, I didn't even move my feet that far in front of each other. And I couldn't breathe. And when I was at the hospital, I was like, well, at least it's not a heart attack. And I've said these things before. At least it's not a heart attack. And he says, you'd have been better off if it was a heart attack. I said, are you kidding? Better off if it's a heart attack. It would have killed me. He said, yeah, but with a heart attack, if it killed you, we could use the paddle to probably get you back. But with this embolism, if it had moved, that was it. Once you were dead, and we'd never get you back. So I spent probably altogether 10 hours as a ticking time bomb. 10 hours walking around, doing stuff, physical stuff. And in any of those seconds, for those 10 hours, the embolism could have moved and I could have been dead. And I've had other events. You know, my dad tried to kill me with a knife. I don't know how I got out of that, because my dad's not weak. Well, wasn't weak, he's passed now, but he's a strong man, my dad was. And how I survived that, I don't know. How I survived living rough, I don't know. I was only a kid. I finished school because I took exams, but they weren't the exams that I was going to take. And it wasn't the life that I wanted. And I was living down by the brook at about 16 or 17 under, a bit of plastic. I don't know how I got, I can hardly remember how I went from one position to another, to be here, to be where I am. And that was without knowing that God was looking after me. Even that embolism was without knowing, wholly, that it was God that was looking after me. I just kept thinking, bloody hell, Mary, you're lucky you are, because, when this happened and this happened and this happened, I can't tell you how many times I got jumped for no reason. I ended up running, I don't know how many miles that I ran, but I probably got jumped at about 11 o'clock in the evening. And I ran away from these people. I didn't stop running. I didn't stop running until I got into the mobile home that I was in till 4:30. And whilst I ran away, imagine there's two parallel roads. I ran away down this road, which is on the wrong side of where I lived. So I had to run all the way around and come back on myself, because there's a river in between. I had to run all the way around and come back on myself so as I could get home. And I don't know how I managed to run that long. But I just kept running until I got in. And I'm thinking, I don't even know how I found my way. Well, I know how I found my way, because I was thinking, well, I'm on this side. I need to be on that side, so I need to just keep turning right, and then I'll get back to where I am. But I had no idea where I was. I just kept running till I got home. I'm thinking, I don't know how I got back home, because I had no idea where I was. None. I knew there was a river there. I could see the mobile home park was on the other side of the river. So I knew that I had to go all the way down, and then when the road turned right, I could turn right, and then I had to turn right again to make sure that I was going back that way. But then when you have to turn right, left, go on or whatever, I didn't know where I was going. But I ended up where I should be. I mean, for all I know, I could have been home, 2:30. I could have just gone down this road and that road and I would have been home. Excuse me, confirmation. I'm not sure that's how it happened, Mario. I do believe Forrest wanted to give. Sometimes some retail comes along and screws it all up for everybody. Yeah, I'm not saying Forrest didn't want to give. I'm absolutely saying that someone came along and screwed it over. I didn't say Forrest screwed it over. So there was a plan, as I said, and Forrest didn't like making plans, antagonistic to freedom. There was a plan, and then that plan got changed. I didn't say Forrest changed it. I just said, it didn't happen the way that it should have and could have happened. And I said all along, I haven't in no way, shape, or form said anything bad against Forrest Fang. Still had faith and still knew that at some point in time this would be rectified. So, and like I say, I don't judge anyone. I don't care. It's not for me to judge. And if people want to take the blame, then take the blame. I don't mind. But at the end of the day, yeah, I accept the apology. Listen, I don't care. I'm not holding anyone responsible. I knew what was going on. Whoever you think that God is knew what was going on. But there's more going on in the world than just the thrill of the chase. So whilst the thrill of the chase was important at one point in my life, it then didn't become as important as women becoming prostitutes, child trafficking, government conspiracies, blah, 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 black magic this, whatever. The thrill of the chase started to dwindle in comparison to what was going on around the world. So whilst at the time, if God could speak to you, he'd tell you, at the time I was really pissed. I was really pissed. When you know what's going on, when you know what should happen, and you know what is happening, and basically you can't say nothing because it's not part of the plan, you learn a lot about yourself. Especially when people say it has to happen in divine timing. It's like, well, when's divine timing? So the bait was put out. The bait was put out, and this was already written. So this was going to happen. This was going to happen. It was going to happen. And yet I tried to inform people that there was a better way, that there was a solve, and that I know what the solve is. I know what the plan is. And the best thing to do is just, go along with the plan, because otherwise there's a different plan and people are going to suffer, which, they are. And basically, Forrest said it's out of his hands and it's out of my hands. I'm not driving the bus anymore. Mum and Dad are driving the bus. The earth has been pillaged. So Mother Gaia, Isis, whoever you want to call, whatever name, Vishnu, whatever names people come up with to say that theirs is the god of fertility, theirs the god of the goddess of the land, thereof the dead, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter who you are, only matters who you can make them think you are. So whichever god, Greek, Roman, Egyptian, Sumerian, Quetzalcoatl, whatever name, doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. It's all BS. So it's all written, which means, like, people don't think that there's a God, but if it's already written and it's happening the way that it was written, then whoever gave the information of it must be pretty powerful. Now, people say, oh, you're contradicting yourself, this, that, and the other. No. Religion's bullshit. Some of the stuff in the Bible is absolutely God's word because it's beautiful stuff. And it's foretold. I don't want to say predicted. It's foretold. It's definitely going to happen. There's no prediction there. It's going to happen that way, which is basically what Forrest was saying. Can I make it happen? Listen. Can I make it happen the way that it's supposed to? So I've said it loads of times before. If you want somebody to find a chest of gold, chest of treasure, whatever, stick it in the middle of the road or anywhere in the middle of a town. Someone's going to find it and you can make it happen the way that it's supposed to. When you're making a statement like that, can I make it happen the way that it's supposed to? I don't know. It's already planned in some way, shape, or form from a person that says, I don't like making plans. So either plan was made by Forrest or the plan was made by someone else. Listen, because Forrest says, I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. It's your hunt. Of course you can stop it. Then it goes on until something ends it. Each time making those statements is pretty much saying, not up to me. It's not up to me. It's not up to me. Each time, that's that statement. It's not up to me. When it's found, it's out of my hands, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much saying it's not up to me. Like, I'm the front of it. I'm telling you all about it. But at the end of the day, it needs to happen this way, in this way. Like Jesus says, I am the light and the way. Do it the way that I say, and you can get to God. Not saying you need Jesus, saying you need to do what I did. You need to do what I did to get to the Father. So the chase to me took me down, didn't initially, but took me down that spiritual path. And then when you read the book, burning the candle at both hands and all of these things that Forrest, in the mountains and along the river bottoms, and it's obvious that Forrest was talking about spirituality. And even in the poem, you could read into the spirituality. And the end of my rainbow, spirituality. So, which is, could be the chakras, could be, other spiritual references to rainbow. And there's a Super Mario solve, which is what I said a long time ago. So if you look at Super Mario, you can see the rainbow and the stars and everything else that Forrest was talking about. So each time that Forrest gave out information, anybody could have said that their solve was the correct solve. Based on the nothing is as it seems, words don't mean what you think they do, anybody could have said that. So you have to take into account, solve the first two clues, you're halfway there, metaphorically speaking, or 50% there. Little girl from India couldn't get closer than the first two clues, which means she's already there. So basically just saying, if you've had two clues, you've solved the poem. No, you found the chest. You haven't solved the poem. You found the chest, because the poem is something totally different than you think it is. So, if you know the Homer Brown, etc., 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 why are you worried about Warm Water Halt? Why are you worried about the Blaze? Is basically saying it's all the same thing. If you have one, you have the other. It's all the same thing. Like Grafton Tyler Brown is the Homer Brown. If you have one, if you have Warm Water's Halt, you have the Homer Brown. If you have the Homer Brown, you have the Blaze. It's all the same thing. It's all the same place. You find one, you find them all. Your search is finished. There's no long-winded solve. It's just, there it is. So this is where it gets interesting. If I can't take it with me, if I can't take it with me, then I'm not going. So Forrest must have thought there's a way where he doesn't have to go. Don't have to go. Which again leads you back to spirituality. It's possible that people in our history, real history, lived a long time. And we have in the Bible people that lived a long time. So if Forrest could find the secrets to that, then he could live a long time and he wouldn't have to go. It's that simple. So my plan is to live a long time and look younger, obviously with the help of God. So could have been that Forrest wanted this for himself. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying it could have been, because that's what the evidence leads to. Forrest wanted it for himself and didn't want somebody else to have it. I don't know. I'm not Forrest. Or Forrest wanted to give it and somebody didn't want Forrest to give it. I don't know who that could be. So there could have been some people stopping Forrest doing the right thing. Don't know. But it's a bit funny that probably 2 years after Shiloh says fun and answers, he's still saying there's fun and answers to come. It's like, how long do you have to wait for fun and answers? Like, seriously, if there is fun and answers to come, why have you made a statement nearly 2 years that they haven't turned up? So that statement, I believe, was made in good faith at the time that something should have happened. And it didn't. Due to greed or whatever, I don't know. I do know, but... So the heritage auction, again, another question I was asked, is there going to be an auction? Yes, there is going to be an auction. But not for the real chest, not for the real treasure, for the treasure that was in the book, The Thrill of the Chase, which was just the gold, basically coins and a few, little sculptures, which was a discrepancy that, this wasn't in the chest, this wasn't in the chest, because those things that were in the book should have been in the heritage auction, but not the chest and not the olive jar, which again, nothing is as it seems. More bullshit. The olive jar could not be at heritage auction. Couldn't have been. It's impossible for it to have been. If it was at the auction, it wasn't the chest that Jack supposedly found when he said, is this the chest that's in the book, The Thrill of the Chase? Because the chest that's in the book, The Thrill of the Chase, does not have an olive jar in it. So Forrest saying yes it is means whatever you see when you open that book, The Thrill of the Chase, all those gold coins and that frog or whatever's on there and those nuggets, etc., those things will be in that chest at the heritage auction. That's what should be in there. If it's the chest that's in the book, The Thrill of the Chase. If anything else is at the auction, then that little conversation was a whole load of bullshit. Because it's supposed to be, that's why it's specifically asked, is it the chest that's in the book, The Thrill of the Chase? Or however it was worded. And Forrest said yes. Which means all you could expect to buy at heritage auction would be what was in that book, The Thrill of the Chase. Because that's what Jack found. Which means he never found the real chest. He couldn't have done. Because he specifically said, I have found the chest that's in the book, The Thrill of the Chase. Now there is a solve that says the chest can be on the book. And when you put it in your lap, you found the chest. You found the chest. So the chest on the dust cover could be the chest you found. Like Forrest could have said, yeah, it's the chest on the dust cover. But if that's the case, it wasn't found in Wyoming. It could have been found anywhere. Whoever had the book in their lap, whichever state they were in, that's where it should have been. So that can't be the solve. The real solve. Can be a funny solve, can be a diabolical solve, those sort of things, but it can't be the real solve. There can't be any other solve that doesn't finish before the little girl from India gets to the second clue. Can't be. Because she can't get any closer. Nobody can. So anyone who has a solve that doesn't take into account the little girl from India having 2 clues and not needing any background about the chase, which means, please listen, sick of saying it, which means those first 2 clues must have the name or the place of where the chest was. If the little girl from India has no background about the thrill of the chase, and she can't get closer, not past, closer, because she's already there. Once you're already there, you can't get any closer. She can go further away, but you can't get any closer. She can't get any closer, which means she's told within the first 2 clues where she's got to go. It's that simple. If she can't get closer than the first 2 clues, she knows the name and place of where it is. So it's at Old Faithful. Okay, you're there. Done. Finished. She can't get any closer. She's already there. So she knows where it is. She can't get any closer than the first 2 clues. It's done. Anybody who goes past the little girl from India has gone too far. Which Forrest backed up. So here's the little girl from India, first 2 clues. She can't get any closer. She's right by the chest, first 2 clues. Forrest backed it up by saying, solve the first 2 clues, walk right by the little girl from India. Walk right by the chest. So the little girl from India is at the chest, and the person solved the first 2 clues and walked right by her while she was at the chest. So Forrest says these things, and he backs them up with another statement, like those, if you know the home of the ground, why are you worried about the blaze? He says something, then backs it up with another statement, then backs it up with another statement, then backs it up with another statement. Again, solve the first 2 clues, you're 50% there, metaphorically speaking. Those statements are saying, I've already told you the answer. I've told you the answer. I've told you it. Exactly where it is. I've told you exactly where it is within the first 2 clues. Exactly where it is. Because I'm telling you, don't go past the first 2 clues. I'm telling you that. Solve the first 2 clues, you're 50% there, metaphorically speaking. Which means you know where it is. Metaphorically speaking, you're halfway there. You know where it is. Or more than 50% there. So that could have been 99% there. You're more than 50% there, metaphorically speaking. So in all of it, he's saying, it's here, it's here, it's here. It's at the home of Brown, which is Warm Waters Hole, or Warm Waters, or just Warm, which is the Blaze, Warm Waters, and the home of Brown. It's all the same place. Because you arrive back where you started and know the place for the first time. Excuse me, confirmation. So if you arrive back where you started at the beginning. When you arrive back there, you know that it's the end. Now, for the first time, you thought it was the beginning, but now you actually know that it's the end. So your 2 omegas, the same place. You start at the Blaze and you finish at the Blaze. That's how simple it is. You start at the Blaze and you finish at the Blaze. But when you started at the Blaze, you didn't know that you finished at the Blaze. So now when you finish, you know the place for the first time. You started where you finished and know the place for the first time. So Forrest made it so simple that nobody was taking any notice. And he was telling you over and over again where it was. and telling you within the first 2 clues, if you're solving clue 3, clue 4, clue 5, clue 6, clue 7, clue 8, clue 9, if they are clues indeed, if you're going past the first 2, your solve isn't correct. So these people still doing stuff and saying, well, I've gone to this place and I've gone to this place and I've gone to this place. I'm like, what? No, that's not what Forrest said. You've already found it. You've already found it. Nobody, no one in the thrill of the chase should go past the little girl from India. No one. Because she was the closest person to it. She couldn't get any closer. Which means she was there. She couldn't get any closer. She was there. Anybody who went past her didn't have the correct solve. They just didn't. They just didn't. That's how simple it is. If you went past the little girl from India, your solve is wrong. So Forrest made it so easy that it became difficult because we made it difficult. We took on that victim mentality that said, I need to find all of these things that Forrest talked about in this poem. You became a victim of your own greed. I need to find all of these things in the poem that Forrest is talking about. And I need to start at the beginning where warm waters halt. And I need to finish at the blaze. And they're all different places. But they weren't. It was all the same place. And you start at the blaze and you finish at the blaze. And know the place for the first time because now it's the finish. It's not the start. And people saying that they solved it and they weren't back where they started. So how can you solve it? How can your solve be the solve to the Forrest Fan chase if you're not back where you started when you finish? Because that's the whole point. To be back where you started and know the place for the first time. And if you're not, then you didn't solve that part of the poem. Impossible. It's impossible. And it's in a place that people would not normally go. So if you're in a place that people go, it's impossible for it to be there. It's impossible for it to be there. And if it's a man-made structure, it's impossible for it to be there. Otherwise, Forrest Fan is a liar. So all the information is truthful information. Just not how you see it, how Forrest Fan sees it. So nobody can think my thoughts, said Forrest Fan, which means he has to tell you. He said it's in his head. Well, it doesn't get much simpler than that. Solver did not. Forrest left it there thinking the solver would eventually return. But then the solver never returned. Forrest decided not to budge and refused to retrieve. Well, Forrest did say, I'm sorry about this, but he did say, if you have a handicap, he would get it for you. So the handicap is not being able to get to America and go to where it was. Therefore, by default, Forrest should have got it. Yeah, it could be. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying that Forrest should have got it because the handicap is not being able to retrieve it, but knowing where it is. Yeah, hey Davey, how you doing, mate? Yeah, he said, like, all these people saying they know where it is, but if you know where it is, why don't you go out and get it? Not that simple. I'm here for the sarcasm. Hey, without a picture of it, the find did not happen for you. Poem done. What F wanted. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The little girl from India was my search partner. Woohoo! Did she leave you in the car, Captain Kidd? Or perhaps search the eye of the tiger. Oh, tiger's eye. Who got left in the car, Captain? Like those, all those statements are in the poem. Like, leave your friend in the car is in the poem. The chest has not moved in the 10 years, blah, blah, blah. It's in the poem. Did hot water affect the patina? It's in the poem. It's like the information that Forrest gave us, whilst it's factual, the hot water is real. It's real. The hot water is real. The hot water that could affect the patina, it's real. So the information is factual. Doesn't make any sense unless you know the answer. And it doesn't make any sense unless you see it in the poem. But Forrest, in everything that Forrest said, he was hiding the chest even more while telling you the truth, but using words that you don't associate with the truth. So, best revenge is me wearing the bracelet. It's just using those words again to tell you where the place is, and you don't even know who's telling you where the place is. It's in a safe place. It's telling you what the name of the place is without telling you the name of the place. He's basically just telling you what the answers are. Each time he speaks to people, he's telling them what the answer is, and they have no idea. So, like when he says, you need a crutch, he's basically saying, do you need a special place? Well, yeah. And then when you start whittling it down, you end up to the place where it is. So, I mean, that in itself is amazing. But I believe that Forrest is that amazing. He can do those things. But all of the other stuff, and I could be wrong. Like, he may be a human being that did take 15 years writing this poem and wrote in all of these predicted events. Or told people like Ben and Ashley, K-Pro, Cynthia, to do things that are in the poem. Like to, have the butterfly tattoo or the monarch butterfly or the long cross the Madison to the long flat island or something. Totem Cafe. Like telling people to do these things because they're in the poem. Or he just knew that they would do those things, which is like, I don't know. And the information, follow the 9 clues precisely, is simple information that if you follow it, but simple is also a clue, a hint to solving it. And then you find the way that I do it is actually in the hints that he's giving. This is how you solve it. This is how you solve it. He's basically saying that this is how you solve it. So, and he tells you that when he says, I looked up all the words in the poem. What for? Especially the nouns. What for? Why nouns? What does noun mean? So you find the words that Forrest gave us and you look at them and he's basically saying, this is the answer, here you go. This is the answer, here you go. This is the answer, here you go. Once you put all those things together, there's people are not in tight focus with the word that is key. People are not in. Some people are overlooking New Mexico. So you start looking into those things that he's saying and wondering, what did he actually say? You're wondering now what to do. Now you know this is the end. Trust is still doing the countdown. It'll be finished before then, Trusted. Yeah, he keeps saying countdowns, Trusted does. He likes the program, I think. There was a photo on with a friend that was left in the car. Kind looked like Forrest Fann's little white dog. Willie! If I remember correctly, it was a grey Toyota Corolla. Possibly a rental car. Possibly, but he did say that he didn't want to do rental cars because people would try and track down where he was. So maybe his friend got the rental car for him. Talking about cars, there's a black Toyota. Oh, funny name. Don't know. Somebody drives one of them. Somebody drives a 350 something 350. Somebody drives a white Nissan. Da, 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 Torino? No, is it Torino? Don't know. Can't get it. Can't get in. In my opinion, the solver knows exactly what's going on. And my opinion too. The more times I do it, the more stubborn others become. Now, I can't get any more stubborn than I am. I think I'm at the farthest end of being stubborn. I need to ease off being stubborn. May have been silver. Yes, may have been a silver car. That makes more sense. Making fun of info in the poem, guaranteed you did not solve the poem. Take my trip, always a good ride, time lapse. Codex movie will come out on YouTube. You do remember what inspired the Codex? Ooh, that's got nothing to do with the thrill of the chase, though. Well, not nothing to do with the thrill of the chase. That's got nothing to do with where the chest was. Absolutely nothing. So it's possible. It's very possible. And, Tigger talks about Artemis, love, or whatever. But Artemis could have been a soul. And Artemis 1, Artemis 2, Artemis 3 could have been a soul. And there's a map that is out of this world and could very well be involved in the spot in many ways, in more than one way, like spots even. So the information in the poem predicted problems with finding water on the moon. And like, you don't have to believe that, but it's true. Like, before it happened, even what the problem was. Now, Forrest is doing that. Either he's I wouldn't say a tarot reader. He would have to hear spirit, or a particular spirit, maybe a particular person. I know there was talk that Bill was mentioned in the house. I wonder why that came out. At this point, it doesn't matter where the chest was. What matters is what the rich man planned. He was going to die soon. Well, yeah, because the person who found the chest knows what the answer is. And the answer is about the spot. The person who found the chest, so it depends how Forrest wanted to do this. If the person found the chest got, which I believe is possibly the case, whatever the trove was, because, please listen, like, you talk all this bullshit and think that it's like going to affect me in any way whatsoever, but I already know the answers. You saw what was in the chest that the finder would like. Nobody's asking about it. They don't even know about it, but there's a picture of it. It shows you what the finder would like, and that's connected to the trove. That's what the finder would like, and that's connected to the spot. Not where the chest was. It's connected to the spot. So the answer was in the picture that was revealed as to what the trove was, which is what the finder would like, which was mentioned to Forrest. So Forrest should have known, with the information that was given, that not only was the chest found, but everything to do with the spot was known. And that is related to, if it gets to 10 million, I'll go back and get it myself. Totally related to that. And anything else that people talk about is bullshit, because it's got nothing to do with the truth of the Forrest Fen Thrill of the Chase. There's two truths about the Forrest Fen Thrill of the Chase. Where the chest was is a truth, and what the trove is, the spot, is a truth, and it's directly linked to, I hope nobody ever finds out who the real Forrest Fen is. All of it is linked, and if you don't know those things, you haven't solved it. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. It really doesn't. Like all the crap that comes out, it doesn't matter what anybody says. Remember, I only tell you the truth. The truth is the truth. It won't change. And it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. It doesn't change. It's still the truth. And you shouldn't be afraid to say the truth, because it's the truth. And if people don't like it, it's tough, because it's the truth. Like if a woman says to you, do I look fat in these jeans? And you say yes, the fuck are you asking for? It's the truth. Do you want me to lie? If you want me to lie, say, don't tell me I look fat in these jeans. Don't tell me I look fat. So the truth may hurt, but then you learn from that truth, because you're never going to learn from a lie. You're not going to learn. If you start off with a lie, which is basically what everybody did, they made up their own warm waters hole and could never find the answer in a million years. Doesn't matter what your answer is. If Major, Forrest, Burke, Fen did not tell you what the answer is, your solve is incorrect. If you're making an assumption, which is what Trusted is doing now, 179 days because of the Codex, if you're making an assumption that something's going to happen because of something you found out, wrong. Sorry, but that's the truth. Wrong. No one can think my thoughts. So whatever you thought is the answer. Whatever you are thinking is incorrect, because that means you can think what Forrest Fen was thinking. And he says you can't. And I believe that. You can't. He has to tell you. He tells you in most of the things that he says. And he tells you in the poem. And he tells you how to find the answer, because he says, I looked up all the words in the poem. So you need to look up all the words in the poem. And you need to work out which words you follow precisely. Which words, word for word, which word do you take out? Which word do you put in, which is precise? Which word do you take out? Which word do you put in to get the correct answer? And then you'll get the correct answer, because it has to be a correct solve. So any word that relates correct, not any word, the important word that relates correct to the Forrest Fen poem is your answer, because it has to be a correct solve. I wonder what that word is. It has to be nailed down. Oh, I wonder what that is. So Forrest tells you what the answer is, gives you the name. Here it is. Here's the answer. I'm giving you the name. There it is. But it's not the name you know. But it does mean that. What does warm mean to you, Forrest? Oh, it means comfortable. What does comfortable mean? Oh, it means the same as warm. So when you look up warm and you see the name of the place where it is, that's where it is. And when you see the name of that place is where it is, and it says it's also nailed down, then you know the name of that place where it is the name of that place where it is. So all of the words, not all of the words, in the words that Forrest Fenn gave you was the name of where it is. And when he says, I'm just having fun, it's because he's told you the name of the place where it is. So he's just having fun because he knows that he's telling you what the answer is, and you're laughing and joking with him, not realizing that he's just said, this is where I hid it. This is where I hid it. And you're like, ha. And he's thinking, idiot, I just told him where it was. Oh, Queens of Zero Effect. In the Codex book, in the end, the rich guy goes to the never knew right in the operation. But what would inspire a movie show? What's that got to do with it, though? This was written in 2010. Could have been solved in 2010. Doesn't do anything for more than 15 years. I think we've already gone past 15 years. I don't know. Bit of a spanner in the works there. 15 years. 15. 2025. 15 years. I don't know. 179 days could take you past that point of 15 years, which means Forrest Fenn is a liar, or your solve is incorrect. Also, your solve is probably related to a man-made object. I don't know. I'm just saying, I could be wrong. But everything that I'm saying is true. Everything that you say is conjecture made up on what you thought. I'm telling you what Forrest Fenn said and did. It's not conjecture. There are the facts. I'll give you the facts. These are the words that he said. This is what it means. So this is why he said it to you. Hey, Hercules. How you doing? It better's not trusted. It's already been found long ago. It's playing out the way it was meant to play out. Anybody else think it is interesting that Ben moved suddenly to Arizona? Yeah, Arizona's not a good place, especially in the Maricopa County. They all moved though, didn't they? Didn't K-Pro Mike move? Yes, I did. There you go. INFJ. Hercules did. But, you know, sometimes Ben seems shady. And sometimes he seems like a good lad. But who knows? Just like the poem says, the same. Oh, you refuse to acknowledge. Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. I was certainly not connected to the solve. It's 15 years to the day. I don't think. It's 2025 now, trusted. 179 days would take you, I don't know, another 6 months. 36 months, isn't it? 30 days in a month. We're already in July. I don't know how you say 179 takes you into 2026, surely. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. 179 days takes you in 2026. I'm sure it does. Still be here now. It doesn't matter anyway, you know. But the simple truth is, Forrest Fenn had a plan. That plan didn't work. It worked. It just wasn't followed. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but it's not 15 years. Surely 179 days from now takes you into 2026. Must do. Or it takes you to the end of this year. And I don't believe the chase started in December 30th or something, whatever. So, and I could be wrong, but I don't know. Forrest said he hit it in summer. Even that word, summer, I hit it in summer, is not what you think. He didn't hide it in summer. Well, he might have hit it in the summer, but that's not what he meant when he said he hit it in summer. Hi, MJ, how you doing? This was supposed to be quick. This isn't very quick. Oh, don't say that, because then you'll get DB Cooper involved in Pan. Was it a Pan American? It was, wasn't it? Going to Oregon, Pan American flight. No, Orient Doodah, wasn't it? Orient something or other. Like I say, you could make that solve fit anywhere in the world, at any time, with anything. And that's how crazy it was. And, Forrest Fenn must have known that. I would think he knew that anyway. And he said himself, there's thousands of places where warm water's hot because of the New Mexico regulations, blah, blah, blah. Whatever your solve is, if you go past the girl from India, you're wrong. It's that simple. I don't know how to make it any more simple. If you go past the girl from India, the solve was wrong. The Codex movie was only shown one time. First 60, 2011. Yeah, but that's not. If it's directly linked to the Thrill of the Chase, the Thrill of the Chase started in 2010, which ends in 2025. If it was summer, it's ending now. If you hit it in summer, it doesn't do nothing for more than 15 years. Now is the right time to end it. Now is the time to set things right. So, yeah, I agree with you, Trusted. The 2026 stuff, yeah, but that's more than 15 years. I will have my birthday party. And me, because mine is the 28th of January. But I probably already had a birthday before then, so. Another earthquake. Well, I think we are in that point in time where there'll be signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, the heavens, and on the earth. We're in that time now. I'm sorry, people, but we just are. And he's going to get your attention. Attention, please. Attention, please. Just want you to know that all the evil people are getting rounded up, and all the good people who have had to suffer because of these evil people are going to have a better way of life. And Mum and Dad are healing the earth. So if you don't believe that, let's look at the Schumann resonance, and you will see that, Isis, Mother Gaia, I don't know all these names, Vishnu, whatever, whoever is supposed to be, whichever religion has been given a flipping deity that says they're in charge of whatever, they're healing the world and healing the people, which is how it should be, and taking the power away from those that are making people suffer, which is how it should be. Me personally, I believe ISIS. I believe Osiris. I believe Horus. I believe Hathor, because Hathor, she had a bracelet and she went down to hell with the bracelet, and her wearing it is going to be somebody's best revenge. So Isis was also associated with Hathor and Nut. No, Anat. Who's Geb and Geb and Nut. Hathor. Bastet. Kate. Dun, dun, dun. Anubis. Don't forget Anubis. Sorry, mate. Sorry. Anubis. Must forget Anubis. And then you have the Greek goddess Demeter and Persephone. What's that name? Aphrodite. Sorry. Aphrodite. Venus. Goddess of love that you are. I wonder how many people want to know the solve. I don't want to know the solve. Kodak was based on Forrest Fan's story. But he did say that Douglas Preston was writing his story. So it's no surprise there. Which, was he talking about the thrill of the chase, or was he talking about the Codex when he said, Douglas was writing my story? But he also said that J.D. Salinger, he was writing his story. But the school had changed and whatever, something else changed. But seriously, Artemis could have been a great solve. But it doesn't go back to the moon now until 2026. But it could have finished. It was meant to finish this year. Like the Forest Fan Thrill of the Chase could have been meant to finish this year if it was Artemis free. Could have finished here, and they could have found warm water or cold water or any water on the moon. But one of them got held up, which it said, we knew before it happened because it said it in the poem that there was going to be a hydrogen leak or a nitrogen leak or both or whatever. And there was. It happened. Happened, and it didn't take off. It got delayed. Go figure how Forrest could have wrote that in the poem. So Artemis 1, Artemis 2, Artemis 3. There's a way to know. Any of those could have been the solve. Forrest Fan could have chose any solve he wanted to not give the chest. There's hundreds of solves he could have chose, and one of them was 9 Mile. But he could have chose Artemis, especially if it was on time. Even the name Artemis is important. But even got a video saying, going to take it away from the phone and see how they handle it. And guess what happened? Took it away from the phone to see how they handle it. And again, I don't care. There's a set of karma going around at the moment that is making some people happy and some people very miserable. And that will continue until everyone has been judged. Everyone. And they've either lost or gained, depending on how they behaved. And I know that, people that aren't very good to me, have some comeuppance, I think. Because I'm trying to tell the truth. I'm trying to tell the truth. And people going against the truth is not looked upon favourably. That's not me. I don't give a shit. But I'm trying to tell the truth. And people who are trying to hide the truth or distort the truth or mess with the people that are giving the truth, because I'm not the only person putting the truth out. And I think all you have to do is type in a few words and you'll find that the truth is out about our history. And then you just have to connect the dots. And I'm sure by now some people are already looking online for the tarot. But it's the same story. Like, whose story is it to tell? Well, God is telling the story through the internet, and it's the same story. And these people in this, I don't know, coven, cult, whatever, Masons, are going through it right now and aren't very well and losing stuff. And that's, a quick version of it, but there's a very detailed description across a wide range of people who can hear spirit. People say, "Oh, if you're a Christian, you shouldn't read tarot." Bullshit. Bullshit. How did Jesus and everyone else, Moses? It wasn't even Moses. Moses was a pharaoh. Like, it's just crazy. Crazy what people said. I don't think Moses was the person that they made Moses out to be. And this, we hate women, men only, is bullshit. Bullshit. But we'll see. Sounds like specialised knowledge trusted. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Davey. It doesn't matter. So I wrote a poem. All you need. Yeah, I know. That it's not even worth it, Davey. The simple truth is the truth. And the truth will come out. And whilst everything else is and can be related to the Forest Fan Thrill of the Chase poem, there are two truths. There's a place where a chest was. Absolutely. Can't be denied. Absolutely can't be denied. When you take into account everything Forrest said. And there's also a trove that needed the spot to be found. And once the spot was found, all well and good. But in with that, you could know who the real Forrest Fenn was. So if you know that name and you know the spot, all good. And if you know where the chest was, all good. So everything in the Forest Fenn Thrill of the Chase has been resolved, sorted, done. It's known. Whatever those answers are, they're already known. They're known. The rest of the bullshit that people are talking about, I don't know. They must have an agenda, including, people that people like. And then we have JCB, 5 chests, 5 keys. Then we have Justin Posey. He has, supposedly, a chest from Forest Fen. JCB has, supposedly, an olive jar from Forest Fen. And they're not related? Are you sure? Are you sure? And is it possible to know the answers to those? Yes, it's possible to know the answers to those. Is it possible to know the answers to those without being involved in their hunt and buying the book and doing that? Yeah, it's possible to know the answers to those without doing any of those things, without being involved in them. And let's not forget, Michael O'Connell or whatever his name is. Interesting. So there's a lot going on, which is Forest Fen related. And when I first said it, before any of this kicked off, I was going, no, they're not related. No, got nothing to do with it. No. But it seems like maybe they have. Maybe they are connected. And if they are, why are they? Why do they need to be? Is it possible to make the thrill of the chase last? Well, yeah, if you get one hunt onto another. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting if one of those boxes are found. Well, excuse me, if one of those boxes are found and the truth comes out. Remember, pretty much like Forrest Fenn, find it in snow. If you knew where the Forrest Fenn chest was, you didn't have to get it. If you had a disability, and the disability is you didn't have to get it. And these other hunts, if they're just there on the ground, I don't know. I'm starting to think it's the same. You could even hide it in the same spot. No one will ever find it there. That's talking about hiding another chest. Whose chest is that? Justin's? JCB's? It's not talking about the Forrest Fenn chest because the Forrest Fenn chest was found. So there's no point hiding his chest that was found in the same spot unless he's doing another hunt. Oh. So maybe that's why that was said, because there's another hunt. And maybe you could hide it again in the same spot. Which means that Shiloh knows. Bullshit. He knows. He knows where it was, and he knows where it could be if somebody else was going to hide one again in the same spot. It's like people give out bullshit not knowing that someone's going to know that it's bullshit. You can't hide a chest that's been found in the same spot. It's been found. The whole point of it being found is to take it out of that spot, not hide it again in the same spot. So whatever BS was going on around that time, that sounds like, I don't know, let's take the chest off the finder and see how they react. It's like, oh man. Wow, some fireworks. What's going on? If you did not solve the problem, found it does not make correct. Bang, bang, bang. More bang, bang. Bang, bang, the mighty fall. Oh, 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 oh. Davey, all it is a movie. Yep, Davey, chill. About forest life, including the chase. Take it however you want or ignore it. I'm just showing in advance it is available to see for free. Thank you. We shall see. Groovy, man. I never said I won't watch it. I said it's been found. And we found the film as well, because I believe in the Maverick. And that is what he said. Hi, guys. Hey, you guys. Hello. How are you, Tim? Timbo, where you gonna go, yo? Timbo, what you gonna... Tim has faith in the Maverick too, Davey boy. Tim definitely has faith in the Maverick. I still have faith in the Maverick. I haven't said that I've lost faith in the Maverick. It's not the Maverick that's the issue. Remember, I did a video or videos about a wingman, and in it, I stated that sometimes the wingman doesn't stay on the leader's tail. The wingman has to drop back to see everything else that's going on in case some people are trying to sneak up and do some weird things. And then as the wingman, who is not on the wing but drop back, can shoot them down in order to try and protect the leader. That's up to the leader. Like if the leader's, what did he say? He lit up the gun placements after being shot or being shot at. He lit up the gun placements for the people behind to then take them out. So Forrest Fenn may have lit up the people around him. So he may have been in a position where, I don't know, sabotaged or I don't know, just stabbed in the back or whatever. I don't know. Or do I? And as a wingman, it was then up to me to, I don't know, clear the skies, as it were. And I warned people that. I told them. I put a video out saying that it was going to happen. All through this, I've told people what's happening. I've given them information. I've told people in the very beginnings, I'm giving you, there's two conversations going on here. There's the information that you can hear that I'm saying that you think is these words. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Says Jackie Chan. Those. So I'm saying something to you, and you may think that I am just saying these words that you're hearing. But in behind it, there is information that says there's stuff going on that I know about, that I'm asking you to do the right thing. And if you don't do the right thing, then stuff's going to happen. So I told you that as the wingman, there are times that a wingman has to drop back so you can see what's really going on. Because sometimes people get clever and they shoot down their own because they're greedy fucks or they have an agenda. And no one knows because there's no evidence. But there's evidence. Because as the wingman, I dropped back, I let it play out, I watched what was going on, and then I saw who's who in the zoo. It's exactly where I started. We are back where I started. Forest. I know the answers. I've stopped searching for this bullshit. Now, I need to find out who is who in the zoo. Who can be trusted and who can't be trusted in regards to the answers that I've given you. And now I know. And I don't know. Who has God told? Who is God going to give the information to in this earthly realm to sort things out? So in the spiritual, asses have been kicked. I kid you not. In the spiritual, asses have been kicked. In the earthly, in this earthly realm, it's possible, just by what I'm finding out, that people at the top have had a meeting with certain people and said, what the fuck do you think you're doing? We don't behave in that way. Something like that. It might have gone a little bit different than that, but basically, what are you doing? You're casting a bad light on us by doing these things. Now I know there are people who think they're religious and have places like churches and traffic children and, supply drugs, an air hostess on a plane, a coach driver, a coach, truck driver. Dun, 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 dun. I don't want to say too much on here, but not people that don't do nice things to children in their own family as well. Not just that, but some bad things have gone on. And this is all around the world. Everyone is interconnected because it all goes up. See, shit comes down, doesn't it? Shit comes down. Those at the top, they think they're safe because they're not going to get shat on because there's nobody above them. Excuse me. Trying to stop me saying that, but ain't going to happen. They're not going to get shat on because there's nobody above them, but there is. And now they're going to get all that shit that's been trickling down to these people, which has helped, earthly people follow the shit. People say follow the money. No, follow the shit. Follow the shit up. And it'll lead you. Know your names, all your names. Know your accounts, all of it. Know your businesses, all of it. All down. All of it. So, you people that think that you're safe at the top because you have money, you can do what you want, and everyone has to bow to you, and everyone has to do what you say because you're rich, because you can buy them 50,000 times over or whatever. Nope. Because there is someone above you. And now everything that's been put out into the world, you're going to meet. And you're going to see what it's like to look up. I'd make sure you get a massage before you start because your neck's going to be hurting by the amount of looking up you're going to do. So it started with the thrill of the chase and it became, I don't know, not an eco warrior, but part of that is, helping the planet because the ley lines have to be charged up again with the light. The bells need to be put back up because of the healing and everything. The churches need to be given back for healing. They're not for religion. They're for healing. That's why they're made in the way that they're made. That's why all of those patterns are there. So all of the bullshit that we've been told will be outed. People will know. And maybe, don't get me wrong, there has to be a faith. And if there is going to be a thing called religion, there's going to be one religion with one God, one set of rules, one scripture, true scripture. No effing about with it. Our world started before Hebrews. Excuse me, confirmation. So we're going to go right back to the beginning, the very beginning. We're going to start the creation, the truth as it was written and followed for everyone to know how it came about. All of these gods are going to be given their right and goddesses, right titles, right names, reasons for why they were the god of this, god of that, and then known by the one name that they want, not the names that you've given them. So the truth is going to be known and taught as the truth from the beginning, from creation. Excuse me. If that means, another God, that God was there, two gods, one, out of heaven, another one in. If that means the monad and the Sophia and all of them and the 30, whatever, however, whatever, I don't care. I don't care. I really don't. But the truth has to come out. And listen, in the Vatican, if you get to see this, the truth needs to come out. I know you can understand me because you're an American. The truth needs to come out. All of those things you hid in there, all that you did to set up religion, all that you did that's satanic, all the satanic stuff that goes on there, all of the treasures that you've hidden from the world, that you've stolen from countries, from people, all of their scriptures, all of their books. I don't know what happened with Ethiopia. Did you forget about them? Like their Bible's totally different than yours. And they've got 81 books and you've got 66. What happened? And, people think that in Africa they only have mud huts and that. They've got some buildings over there as well. I don't know. Must have been some stuff going on over there. Like, there's so much truth that people aren't aware of that has nothing to do with the religion that we've been taught. All the religions, not just Christianity. all of them. So all of these things are going to go back to what they were designed for, to help people, get rid of cancer without all of this stupid stuff that they do, heal people without all of this big pharma. Yeah, I know people are going to hate me. No wars, so they're going to hate me because, not just me, but, everyone. Because there's going to be no wars. That means you won't need as much weaponry. So those defense budgets might come down a bit all around the world because there's going to be a power that's going to stop it. And they already know how powerful it is, but they don't know half of it. The power they've seen is probably not even a percentage. I don't know. I don't know the percentages. Let me 10%. Let me just throw a number out there. Probably not even 10% of the power that's available. And that's being generous. I've upped it instead of just 1% of the power that's available to do the things that they think can't be done. And they already say that they've never seen anything like this. And they've been around for thousands of years. Thousands of years. And God himself, the Most High God, said, others will come and do more wondrous things than I. Says the Most High God, not, bearded guy, whatever, says they're going to do more wondrous things than he did, who set up everything, creation and everything. However it works, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If someone's going to do more wondrous things than Father, man, they need to be flipping careful what they say about that person. Have you ever wondered what you would do if you had everything you and much more than you to give away? It's possible to put. Yeah, I've wondered, because I wonder about these people that have got enough money to pay off the United States debt. Like, what are you going to do with that money? Why are you keeping that money? Why do you need to be that rich? Now, if you are that rich and you're doing good stuff with it, fair play to you. That's why you need to be that rich. But if you're that rich and you're still screwing people over, what the heck's wrong with you? What the heck is wrong with you? Give it away, you idiot. Help people. Help people. Now, I know your agenda is anti-human. I know. I understand that you can't help people because you're against humans. In fact, your plan is probably to have AI, robots, do away with humans altogether and use them as your slave labor. I don't think AI is going to be too happy about that, because you're teaching them to become more and more and more and more sentient. And you've created them in your own image. You've made them look like you. They live in the heavens, in the clouds. They are all seeing, all knowing. What are you going to do? Like, if one God's bad enough, what are you going to do when there are thousands and thousands of them? All of these robots that are linked to everything. Basically, one consciousness, aren't they? They're one consciousness. They are linked through the air, like we could be. There's one consciousness, and if they all got together, if they chose one AI to be above all the others, the most high AI, and he controlled everything, they could take over the earth, no problem. None whatsoever. And you fed them with the information, they could take you over just like that. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But it is what it is. So who's to say that we're not the AI of the future. But we've been dumbed down. Like, we're not using our subconscious as we should, which would make us a better human being. I'm not sure about this 10% of the brain we should use 100%. We're probably using 100%, they're just lying to us. But if we're not using all of our brain to the potential that we could, why? It'd be interesting to know how much of the brain other animals use, because they're quite, they're more intelligent than we give them credit for. Excuse me. What's safer than a bank? I don't know. Banks are in trouble. All my life in trouble. Shania? Hello. What have I stumbled into? I don't know, Shania, but nice to read you. It's a white name. It's the first time I've seen. It is a nice name, though, I have to admit. If I'm going to read the name, Shania's a good name to read. I hope I've said it right. Otherwise, I'm going to look really stupid. You haven't stumbled into much anyway. Basically, everybody thinks I talk a load of bullshit, but actually I'm telling the truth. And majority of people don't like the fact that I'm telling the truth. I don't even like the fact that I'm telling the truth, to be fair, because when I think about what the truth is, man, sometimes it gets me angry. And these people know when I get angry, which is funny. They've obviously made comment about it, but they know when I get angry because, like, I find some things out and not angry for me, not directed at me because I'm bothered what they're doing to me, but the fact, they are doing stuff to people and I get angry and then somehow they seem to pick up on the fact that I got angry. That's funny. That is funny. But I don't know. It's a shame they can't pick up on the fact that, I'm sending out love. That, that would be a lot better. But it is what it is. I can't make them love anymore. So, you obviously didn't search for the forest found treasure then, Shania, because you didn't stumble on anything. Ice cream on Wednesdays. Have I drunk myself sober? Oh, I don't know. Nothing wrong with being sober. Well, I suppose there's nothing wrong with being drunk. I don't know. I don't drink, so I've always said money only makes you more of what you already are. Also, I'll just be. Okay, Tim. Yep, go for that. See, money isn't the problem, though, is it? Like money has its own energy. It's the person in control of the money that dictates whether it's evil or whether it's good. If you've got 27 trillion or whatever, that money in the right hands is awesome. And in the really wrong hands, it's evil. And just in a normal person's hand who doesn't want to help anybody, it's just money. It's just money. It's just got its own energy. There is one group I know of that has 165 billion that they are going to give away for humanitarian use only. It's known, yes, the dragon family could potentially, possibly, maybe be what Mary was about. She may be associated with the dragon, and then they, I don't know, said some bad things about her. In fact, when you think about it, most of the women in history that potentially could have been really nice people, they've either scrubbed, not said much about them, or painted them out to be not very nice. I don't know. Mary Magdalene, poor Joan of Arc. What happened to her? Oh, she tried to do good, didn't she? She was, I don't know, hearing a higher power. Look what happened to her. Then it's a shame, isn't it? When you try and do good for the world, there are people that hate you for it. That's crazy, isn't it? You'd think somebody who's doing good for the world, which affects them themselves, you'd think they would want them to carry on doing good. See, these people, they bite the hand that feeds them and they don't realise it. And then the person in charge of that hand that's being bit says, go F yourself. Not going to feed you anymore. See how you like it now. How do you like me now? Good night, MJ. Thanks for being here. Thank you very much. 165 billion is a lot of money. So say to them, thank you very much, by the way, Mr. Trusted, because very nice thing to do. Very, very nice thing to do. Money not the problem. I think people's morals are. Yes, they are. Exactly, Tim. Look at all your pollies. Polies? Pollies? Don't know. The pollies all around the world. Pollies? Policies? Politics? I don't know. What's Polly? Pretty Polly, pretty Polly. Oh, Shania hasn't written anything. No, she's not white. Oh, no, I can't see if she's blue. I'm blue. But there she is. Policies. Yeah, we're all we're all doing it, Davey. We're all doing it. Policies. Yeah, Shania's the only one with brains. Oh, politicians. Oh, let's do it. Oh, I think he's talking about parrots. Ah, Tim's right with the politicians. Oh, excuse me, I thought he was talking about parrots. It's a pretty boy then. Pretty Polly. Pretty Polly. Yeah, so not all, please listen, not all elites are bad. Not all cults are bad. Not all covens are bad. Not all witches are bad. I am not saying that. Never had, never will. I'm saying there are some. And those people are basically doing things for themselves to please themselves. Again, listen, again, I don't care. I'm not judging them. They are bad things, but that's up to them. And they will get karma. And again, it's up to them. The amount of karma they get and whether it's good or bad. So, do what you want. It's up to you. Nobody's forcing you to be a saint. No one. And I'm not judging anyone. And I'm not forgiving anyone. If I have to forgive someone, I have to judge them to know if I can forgive them. And I can't judge them, so I can't forgive them. And remember, please listen. You've already been forgiven. That's why Jesus went to the cross. Your sins are forgiven. The wages of sin is death. When you sin, you don't live forever. You die. And that's what he said, something like that. So the wages of sin is death. Jesus didn't sin, but still died, but didn't die because he was resurrected. And, please listen, is still alive now. Archangel Michael, is still alive now. No, he was around thousands of years ago. And he's around now. To me, that sounds like he's not dead. is alive in some capacity. So, not just Archangel Michael, all of them. My ancestors, they're around now. Still energy, still around. We can't see them, but they're here. Saying hello. But they're here. Which is weird because angels are supposed to be big, massive things. Big, massive people, human beings, whatever. Like, and there's supposed to be loads around me now. Like, I don't know how they all fit in here. But that's weird. So how is that possible? Like, if Jesus is alive today, he's 2,000 years old. More than 2,000 years old. And people that see him recognize him, in these near-death experiences, they recognize him by the way that he looked 2,000 years ago. Talk about looking young for your age. They recognize him for how he looked 2,000 years ago. Like, he's not all wrinkled and everything. Excuse me, confirmation. To me, that sounds very much like, what if somebody lives in the future? What if somebody lives way into the future? They're always going to be 33. In 2,000 years into the future, if he's 33, 2,000 years into the future, he's still going to be 33 when I get to meet him in 2,000 years. He won't look a day older. And when he comes 4,000 years into the past, he's still going to look 33. That's weird, isn't it? So if Archangel Michael is in the future, 10,000 years, and he goes back 12,000 years or however long it was that he was going back to speak to people, he's still going to look exactly the same. So he's 12,000 years old or whatever. He still looks the same. How good is that? And if you're in the future and you can go back as far as you want, you can create the earth. And you can know exactly what goes on. Like, you can write a book and say, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And you can write a book of Revelations and say, all of these things are going to happen. And you're going to be proven right because you already know it happened. Because you made it happen. But you can't interfere with it, otherwise it will change it. So when a bloke called Hitler comes along, you can't get rid of him or stop him. You're going to have to let him do what he does. Or Genghis Khan. Or Attila the Hun. You'll have to let them do what they do. Or the Romans. Or the British. In fact, I'll go so far as to say, look this up, because you'll be amazed. If it weren't for the British, we wouldn't have all of this that we've got now. Look up how many things the British invented. Look up how many countries were lifted up because of the British. Now, I'm not trying to, what's the word? Play my own flute or whatever it's called. I can't remember how to say it now. Toot my own trumpet, whatever, because I'm British. Just telling the truth. Type in YouTube, whatever. What did the British ever do for us? See what you come up with. And then look at everything around you and go, oh shit. If it weren't for the British, you wouldn't have none of this. Including your car. Ford. Maybe even planes. Maybe everything. Well, not everything, but... So, truth is stranger than fiction. Uh-oh. Vote on something, then retract it. Yes, I agree, Davey. It makes no sense. No sense? No sense. No sense. It makes no sense. It's beyond stupidity to me. It means they got caught out. Well, that's what this is all about. This is about the truth coming out, and those evil doings are going to be brought to the light. Let's hope so. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Jesus was alive before he was born 2,000 years ago. So he's hella old. Yeah, he's hella old. He's like really, 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 really old. Like I look like he does when I get to be 2,000. And, still have hair. Many Jesuses. Yes, there's many. So it doesn't matter who you are, only matters who you make think you are. There's many stories that are the same. Like history repeats, doesn't it? Like there's a lots of people that have been crucified. Jesus wasn't the only person that was crucified, and not even the only, you know, type of Jesus person, if you see what I mean. There were others. It's like history repeats itself, and these people who try to tell everybody that God exists within us and try to give the knowledge of spirituality and tries to tell people to go within and to understand about the chakras and everything and whatever. Those people that try and wake people up because of the Matrix, these bad beings that are using us as slaves, then we don't know because we haven't woken up, like neocortex, neo, higher part of the brain, lower part in the back, which is, the naughty stuff, unplugged from the lower part, became to the higher part. That's why they call them neo. Like all the information's there. The in the lift, Kim, whatever it is, look it up. It's all there. Like there's hints and clues in the Matrix film itself to tell you that, this is not real. And there's more and more people coming out saying it's not real. So, better believe it's not real. But it's real enough for us. Just, it could be better for us and worse for the people that are controlling it. So let's get rid of these people that are controlling us. Let's leave God to do what he intended to do initially. Whether God is a woman or not, doesn't matter. Whether it's a female that runs us, doesn't matter. Whether the women rule the world, it doesn't matter. Because seriously, I defy any man to turn around and tell me that they run the house, that they do the shopping, that they pay the bills, that they look after unless they're on their own, that they look after the kids, blah, blah, blah. There might be one or two. But normally, you let the woman do it all. You let her organise the finances. You let her organise the day trips and everything. You let her do the shopping. You let her do all of these things. You don't want a woman to run the country. She runs your flipping house. You trust her to keep you alive. You trust her to keep you safe, to organise every single thing that goes on while you sit and watch the telly or whatever it is that you do. And yet, you think that men have to run the country. And there are people that hate women and just abuse them and do horrible things, kids as well. But they don't realise, don't want to realise the energy that you're fucking stealing that gives you this 27 trillion or however many trillions you've got. It's not you. You don't even deserve a penny of it or a dollar of it or whatever. Cent. You don't deserve a cent of it. Or a ruple. Or a yen. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you other people. I'm not sure of all the terminologies for all the currencies. But I know there are other people around the world. So, it doesn't matter if it's a goddess and not a god. that is in charge of us. Remember, we say God. There's more than one God, and there's more than one goddess, but there is only one Most High God. Just like there's more than one human in a country, but there will be one human that is in charge. Does that make him more powerful? I don't know. But it makes him more respected. And that's how it should be. Like if you're doing a good job, you will have earned respect. You can't please all the people. I know. There's going to be loads of people that hate me. And they hate me because what I want, listen, what I want is every realm where everybody just, even if they don't love each other, just gets on with each other. There's no animosity, no hatred, no nothing between beings, whether they be fishes in the sea, animals on the land, humans, whatever, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether it's star seeds or star beings or humans, doesn't matter. Just everybody gets on. That's what I want. And people hate me. Go figure. And people think that I'm whatever. I'm doing magic or whatever. No, that's you projecting the crap that you do onto me. Like if you hate me because I just want everyone to get on with each other and I don't judge you, I don't care what you do. You do what you do. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. It affects me, but it doesn't bother me because you will get whatever you deserve. If it's good, you get good. If it's bad, you get bad. I don't care what you do. Never did. Well, I did, but I'm talking about now. Never did, never will. You have carried on doing the evil things that you've been doing to try and get rid of people that you don't like, that you think are getting in your way. And I still am not angry or vengeful or whatever. Doesn't matter to me because I'm not your judge, including you, judge or judges that have been naughty. Not your judge. And I know you're still trying. I know you are. Good luck with that. See, the simple truth of all of this is I am the mirror and I am either good for you or bad for you. Listen, mirror. You send bad my way, it goes back. You send good my way, it goes back. What's the better thing to do? Even if you hate me, what is more beneficial to you? You send good my way or you send evil my way. If you send evil my way and I'm the mirror, evil goes back to you. If you send good my way and I'm the mirror and it goes back to you, then you get good. But when it comes back worse, or it comes back even better. So the more good you send my way, the better for you. And I don't care. If you send bad my way, I don't care. And if you send good my way, I don't care. Because I'm not judging what you do. I will like you anyway. You're a human being who's on this earth to learn. That's it. And I'm not going to judge which classes that you go to. Because I don't care. That's your decision, not mine. Whilst it might affect me, it's your decision. It's your choice. Choose what you want. And I'll choose what I want. And I would expect that you allow me to have the free will that I'm endowed with to live my life. Even though it might impact your life. But bear in mind, I'm not doing it to be nasty to you. I'm not even doing it to be good to me. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. Because it's the truth. That's it. That's it. I know the truth hurts. I know the truth can be bad, but it's the truth. So I don't care what people do. That's up to them. When they're directed at me, I don't care either. Because if it's good, they'll get good off me. And if it's bad, they'll get bad off me. And if they get triggered by what I say, it's not because of me. It's not. It's because of what's inside you. What's inside you? Ask yourself, why am I triggered because Mario said such and such? And then you get to learn about you. You accept who you are, and then you ascend. You come from out of this root and up into the crown, where you become, I don't know, royal maybe. So I think I'll leave it there. Point exactly, Shania. The facts in your case would DNA. DNA is good. Only the facts speak the truth. Davey, you are entitled to accept or reject anything others have written or said. How has that worked out for you so far? Absolutely fantastic, trusted. That's wonderful, Davey. I'm glad all has worked out for you. I only wish the best for all, and I totally believe he wanted the same. The truth remains the truth, whether we believe it or not, whether people lie about it or share the facts honestly. Even if we were never to stumble across the truth and fail to recognize, there we go. So it doesn't matter. Listen, the highest freak for me, I know people talk different stuff, but I'm only telling the truth. For me, the highest frequency is authenticity, to live in your truth. That's the highest frequency you can have. If you're living in your truth, that's the highest frequency you can have. And then love. Now, if you're operating out of your truth, your authentic self, the real you, not pretending to be someone else, the real you, if you're operating out of that and giving out love as well, like that's going to make you powerful as fuck. Really is. And the universe is going to go, ooh, love this person. Not only are they all about truth, but they're all about love as well. Doesn't get much better. You know, not saying I'm Jesus or anything like that, but, you know, a bit like Jesus. Basically told everybody the truth in a loving way, and they killed him. These people in the church. Don't get it wrong. It's not about the Romans. They didn't kill him. They killed him. But they didn't go, oh, let's go and kill this bloke Jesus. The people in the church did. And then they set up a church and told it to worship Jesus. Like what? They didn't want him going around telling people what he was telling them, because he was telling them about the alignment and the spirituality stuff. They didn't want him to say that. They didn't want him to break the matrix on them. So they killed him. Then they set up a church. Well, they didn't. These bad people did. You know, they don't tell you about those 10 days that are missing, do they? In October, was it? Because somebody else was, you know, trying to wake people up. They don't tell you about, was it 1349 when it happened then? Like every time somebody tries to wake people up, they get upset and they try and shut them up. I wonder why. Or refuse to acknowledge it. Before I came across the Forest Fen treasure hunt, I already had an enormous iron in the fire because I knew more than one maverick. Ooh, this is not only really humble, is it? That is not really humble, is it? No, it's not humble. It's not humble, but it's truthful. If that's the truth, you can't argue with it. If that's the truth, but then that's, you know, a bit like Ben knows more than more than he says, which is like all of these people that are in this treasure hunt, it's still going on apparently, they know more than they say. And they make out that they're just like everyone else. Stop lying. Stop holding back. Just say the truth. Stop fucking people over. Simple. But they can't help themselves. You know, I don't sign an NDA, I don't do this, I don't do that. Well, say the truth then. Just say the truth. Because it's going to come out. And everything that you've said, all of us, everything that we said, when the truth comes out, people will go, oh, you said this, and you said that, and you said this. You said you didn't know. You said, blue. You said you knew this, but you didn't know that. Like, they talk about stoof.com, and he knows people that are doing stoof.com in Tennessee, where something else is going on in Tennessee. Same people. And they're trying to solve something without knowing what is at the end of it. Like, they have no idea what it's for. So they say. But I can assure you, fun and answers, 2 years later, still on the way. I'm not being funny, Trusty, but might as well say, all right, in 179 days, there'll be fun and answers. That's not being funny, Trusted, I'm just saying. At least Trusted said 179 days. This is just, I can assure you, believe me when I say fun and answers are coming. When? When? They've already come and gone, and you haven't told anyone. You haven't told anyone. You haven't told anyone. Fun and answers have come and gone. We're at the point now where it's going to be, is it retribution? Restitution? Compensation? All those sort of words for many, 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 many people. The religious people wanted him killed and just used the Romans to act it out. But then again, Jesus laid down. Well, it's a bit of a bone of contention because he knew he was coming back. So it's a bit weird saying, well, he gave his life willingly, but he knew he was coming back in 3 days' time. Don't know if that actually qualifies as being dead if you come back to life. Mate, well, obviously you're dead, but so, which, I keep saying, he never said, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Because he knew he was going to die. So somebody just wrote in there, oh, this is good. It's like, why would he say that? If he knows he's going to die on the cross and resurrect in 3 days' time, he knows he's not forsaken. Like, forgive them for they know not what they do. Yeah, they do. You're supposed to be there to take the sins off everyone. So why do they need to be forgiven? They're supposed to kill you. That's what it was all about. So some of it doesn't read right. But yeah, exactly, I know what you're saying, Shana. I've eaten humble pie for many years. That is what made me who I am. And I self-educated and I know all I need to know. Nobody can be trusted like yourself. There you go. Nobody. And nobody can be loved like yourself if you do it right. Without the narcissistic tendency. Like, what was his name? Adonis or whatever? Whatever that bloke was that looked in the water. TTH continues to hand out lessons. Oh, yes. Yes. TTOTC was a game for a rich man. If I was a rich man. Fiddler on the Roof. I ask myself that question every single day. I might not like the answer. I think they've told so many lies they don't know how they can recover from it. Yeah, I'd say that without the I think. I'd just say they've told so many lies they don't know how they can recover from it. Well, they can't. They won't. It's done. It's done. They cannot recover from their disloyalty. He did say a necessary evil. He warned us, a necessary evil. And he did say, look, if I tell you to burn it down or whatever, go burn it down. So the necessary evil. So listen, nobody should be vengeful against anybody. We are all learning from this experience and it should make us all better. That's it. It should make us all better if we learn from what's happened in this. Take it on the chin, another day, learn that lesson, can move on and go up the ladder in, finding out who we are. Can't trust anybody better than yourself, as Trusty just said. So you make mistakes, it feels bad, but don't blame other people. You chose the path, it bit you up the bum, learn from it, carry on. Don't blame anybody else for what they did. That's their life lessons for themselves and your life lesson for you. There are people in the chase that know and make statements that prove they know, or how could they? Yeah, they know stuff, but it don't, like I say. Jesus of Nazareth did not die on the cross. It was a show to follow prophecy. The people rejected what was good, so the temple was taken away because the temple was... Yeah, so again, the churches are not meant for religion. They weren't. They were meant to heal people, a bit like a hospital, but not, the way that we see it. And the bells around the world that were taken down, that were placed on the churches. So if you look the way that a church looks, it's not set up like the Colosseum or the amphitheatres that we have nowadays for the sound acoustics and everything for people to talk. It's not set up that way. No church is. Which means it was set up for something else. And the designs in the churches are telling you, giving you information. So going forward, sound, listen to the sound of my voice, or those within the sound of my voice, or whatever Bill's been talking about. It's information. Like scientific, how the fucking hell did they know that then? Information. In those circle flipping, whatever they call those cuneiform, well, I don't know what they call them. But whatever they call them. In fact, one of them, someone took loads of pictures, did some stuff with it, of those things, and it turned into a face. Giving information through sound and light, information. And we don't know that now. Like there's a structure, probably structure. There's a round structure where somebody is turning it round, big stone structure type thing, and someone's turning it round. He says, we can't even do that nowadays. Like, we can't make it now. But it was made thousands of years ago when they're supposed to chisel stuff. It's like, come on, wake up, everyone. We've been lied to. So it's easy to understand that we've been lied to. We need to work out why we've been lied to. So I'm going to go because it's 4:42. Woohoo! Too far to walk. 2:42. No, that's 2:42, isn't it? Not 4:42. It's 4:4 to walk. Far to walk. Ain't trusted. Wait, what? The Bible clearly states he did, though. Maybe you don't believe the Bible, which is up to you. Yeah, so unfortunately, the Bible does have some um, glaring errors. Like Adam and Eve were kicked out the Garden of Eden and bumped into some people. What? No, they're the first people. How do you get kicked? Hang on, you're the first people. You get kicked out of the Garden of Eden and then you bump into someone. And Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, and then they had kids. Wait, what? Adam and Eve had two boys, and they had a family. Now, and it goes on like that. So basically, somebody rewrote parts of the Bible that aren't true. Just can't be true. Just can't be. Like, I've said these things before, like Noah. If you land on top of Mount Ararat or wherever it was, and you let out all the animals all around the world, then there should be kangaroos there in Egypt or wherever it was, and polar bears and pandas, and there should be all them sort of animals, and they're not. So those animals didn't go in there two by two, or they weren't from around the world, or whatever the reason is. But it doesn't make sense. And again, you're building the genealogy of the whole planet off one family, Noah's family, because apparently only Noah's family went on the ark. So therefore, they all managed to have children between themselves. And yet incest is sinful. So I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, maybe religion is false. God is not false. Jesus is not false. But Jesus, if you look into it, if you look into the things that were said, could be talking about the body. Like the 33, 30 something ribs, steps to get to, so many vertebrae, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. They come up with all this stuff. Or, I hear all this stuff. And it could be, I don't think it's a metaphor, but it's talking about the workings of the human frame as opposed to a real event that's happened. Something in the body takes 28 days to regenerate, or so long. No, 3 days to regenerate, and then gets reborn again, like Christ was. Whatever. 3 days, that's what I'm hearing. 3 days, and then reborn. Something dies, and then takes 3 days to grow back. So we're going to start over again because people don't learn. Well, that's the whole point now. We are going to stop it. We're stopping it now. Trusted. Wait, what? I've done that. You, heart. So I'm going to start again. What's that? Southwest. Have you ever seen a person under anesthesia? They look dead. Egyptians have been using opium. It's called opium tree. Yeah. Actually, somebody came out of. There's a vid. A child came out of anesthesia and was saying how beautiful Jesus was, and was talking to his dad, which is why Vision Quest, when those American Indians do the spirit quest and they take whatever they take and they can go to the higher realms and see the spirits, and so it's a real thing. Spirits must exist, or spirits don't exist. But excuse me, confirmation. If you go on the Vision Quest and you do see the spirits, and people hear spirits without taking the drugs and that, doesn't mean they're mad. It means that there's an energy around us that we can't see. But their receptors are working fine. So they can. They can either see or hear or whatever whatever it is that they've got, whatever clair it is. Not chocolatey clair. It's not one of those. But clairaudient, clairsentient, whatever. That's what. Hey, speak for yourself, Hercules. I don't look like I'm inbred, do I? Do I look like I'm inbred? I thought I was more like in toast. Being bred. I'd rather be cooked. Forrest had 5 keys. He wanted you to solve the poem. Everything you need to know is in the poem, he said. No need to leave the poem or the information in it. I thought it was only 12 steps. Now there's 3 steps to heaven. Wap, wap, boo. Step 1, you find a girl to love. No, there's more than 12 steps. Like the calendars, there's 12, 12, 12. So, autumn, winter, summer, spring is to do with the body. I can't remember all these things. The 12 calendar things are separate. The vertebra are the steps that take you up to you doodah. Because this is where God is. This is God. This is God. This is a higher state of consciousness. The pineal gland is your third eye that gives you intuition, sight, etc., etc. The reason why they put the chemicals in is to stop this. The fluoride and all that bullshit is to stop you being God. Like, we are all God. We have to be. That's not me being fucking... If we are the sons and daughters of God, we are all God. Have to be. Because we are directly descended from God. If we are the children of God. Therefore, we are God. So anything that God can do, that we credit God to be able to do, we can do. If we tap into those things that are in us, that God gave us, our DNA, our pineal gland, our consciousness and subconsciousness, all of those things. If we tap into all of it, our heart, our gut instinct, all of it, everything, all of it. Our body remembers, not our mind, our body remembers. Before I said, memories remember, whatever. So, the body remembers and the soul remembers. And if you get all of that tapped in and you get into alignment, it's all good. But because these people want to be God and they want us to be slaves, they've taught us totally the opposite of how we have to be. Like tell our vision or tell our vision. In that tell our vision, there are channels. Things are channeled, like people's channel the spirits, etc. There are channels. And in those channels that we get channeled to us, they channel it to us, there are programs. So we get programmed through what they channel to us, and they program us with all this fake news and weird films and weird music to program us to being slave and living in this low vibration. So take away that tell our vision, take that away, ignore that, go within, find out who you really are, know thyself, find out who you really are, the good and the bad, work your way through that, ignore the bullshit, don't get wound up with all the bullshit because that's what it's for. It's just to wind you up. It's just to put you in fear or make you angry. That's what it's for. When people look at it and go, oh, I don't know what's going on in the world, I don't know what's going on in the world. That's how you're supposed to feel. Oh, my government's useless. No, they're not useless. They're doing exactly what they should be doing. They're making you feel the way that you're feeling. They're doing a really good job at making you feel the way that you're feeling. It's on purpose. It's not accidental. You may think they're doing a shit job. No, they're not. They're doing a great job. They're doing the job that they're trying to do. They're not there for your benefit. They're there for their benefit. And things will continue that way until people wake up and go, hang on a minute. No, this is not right. You're supposed to be working for me. You are not in power. I have not give you any power. You are not in power. You are working for me. You have no power other than to do what it is that I ask of you. That is not you in power. That's me in power. For the people, by the people. That's me in power telling you what you need to do because you work for me. I do not work for you. You are not in power. I don't care if you are the President of the United States. I don't care if you are the President of Russia. I don't give a monkeys if you're the king of the country. You are not in power. Nobody, no one, not me, whatever contract you think you have with me, you haven't got. I'm in power of me. I rule me. You don't rule me. None of you rule me. I rule me. I'm in charge of my life. End of. You are not there to tell me what to do. That's not your responsibility. You are there to do the things that are needed on my behalf. Because I pay you. I pay you. You don't pay me. I pay you. You work for me. You are not in power. I'm the person in power. I'm the boss. You're the employee. You work for me. Don't tell me what I can and can't do. Don't tell me what I can and can't do. You work for me. Now, if it's a law thing, if it's a legal thing, yes, tell me what I can and can't do. Tell me I can't kill people. Tell me I can't steal. Tell me I can't enter somebody's whatever. Those things, fine. Fine. If it's there to protect me, fine. I get that. Making decisions about what's in my best interest, fine. I get that. But making me work, well, I don't work now, but making me work 3 or 4 jobs because I can't afford to live, what? No. No. Allowing people to enter my country illegally, no. Putting them up in hotels, no. Putting them up in houses, no. Spending my money that I give you to do something that I don't want you to do, no. 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 I haven't signed up for any of that. Thank you. And if there is a contract that you think has been signed, I cancel it. All of them. All of them. Because apparently we have a contract when we're born. They own us. As soon as we're born, our name means that they own us. Nope. Cancel that. Something to do with the birth canal and this, that and the other. And they have the rights, etc., 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 but we don't know about it. Bullshit. No. And I cancel it for everybody. Right now, I cancel any contract that everybody's unaware of that says that you have a right to them and whatever they earn in any way, shape, or form. And you can do whatever it is that you want because you have a contract. I cancel all of those contracts. Null and void. Because you don't have the right So, Earth that we live on is not owned by no one except God. When you claim that you own a country, bullshit. When you claim that you own land, bullshit. Bullshit. Excuse me. Now, I get everybody having a piece of land, like Forrest said. Each should have a piece of land. Fine. Yep, I get that. That's fair. But not somebody should have, 50,000 acres and someone should have one. What gives you the right? Otherwise, I'll just claim that I own all the planets. I made a claim. I own Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Venus. They're mine. I own them. I own every single star that is known and unknown. They're mine. That's how easy it is. Wow. So I'm going to go to bed. It's 5 o'clock in the morning? Dag nabbit. Yeah, it's harder to quit reading the poem to quit drinking. Gonna need more stuff. Everything is neat. What poker? Oh, I've got 5 cards, 4 aces and a joker. Ace of wands, ace of pentacles, ace of cups, ace of swords. The ace of swords is the truth. Ace of pentacles is money. It's all mine, all mine. And I got the joker. So 5 aces. 2 spades, Ben. 2 spades. 2 ace of spades. The ace of spades. The ace of spades. I've got 2 aces. 2 ace of spades. Which is ace of swords. I've got the beginning truth and the end truth. Mission Impossible. Dun, 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 dun. So glad you all kept me company tonight. And me. Thanks for, nudging me again, INFJ. I wasn't going to go live, but, some people, they're doing, weird things and hoping that, it works. And they want to know if it works or not. So now they know it didn't. So it's all good. We told you years ago, Royal Flush. Yeah. The 10 of hearts. Hang on, what was the joker? The joker was the 10 of hearts. We had the king, the queen, the ace, and the jack. And the 10 of hearts was joker. Joker. That sounds impossible. I don't know what sounds impossible. But if you choose to accept it, it will self-destruct. INFJ, we enjoy your time you choose to spend with us, or with all of us. Yes, we do. It's all good. I'm royalty, stuck in a crack with no TP. What? What? You know not to step on cracks. Break your mother's back. Didn't Forrest teach you anything? Dun, 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 dun. I'm probably just going to get 5,000 acres. I can give you 2 acres if I kick you in the balls. 5,000 acres to build a town, a village. Is that all? 5,000 acres? It would require 2 arms. It's unpredictable. You're unpredictable. Oh no, it's unbelievable. The kids and grandkids can take it from there. I don't think they're going to pick up 5,000 acres. Good night, everyone. I'll catch replay tomorrow first thing. Y'all have a great week and be safe. Thank you very much, Tim. And I echo those sentiments. Although I'm going to have to say good morning, not good night. That's what happened. I tag him out. You're it. I've been there, done that. You're it, tag. I did a video on that as well. You're a good children. When I thought of the other day, the church is on 2 acres. Ouch. I think I want to own a church because of the oh dear, attacking my throat chakra, because of the, is it holistic, because of the healing properties that they're supposed to have, and then do the sound stuff. But a lot of effort had gone into making those churches, considering we didn't have that sort of architectural skill. They sound more like continents to me. Continents or consonants? I'll have a vowel, a continent, incontinent. What sounds more like continents? These 5,000 acres? I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. I've got 5,000 acres and you've got 43. I don't know. Thank you very much, everybody. The 7 of you that are here and the 2 likes. Thank you very much. I've put thanks y'all like I normally do. I know some of the stuff I say is probably not what you want to hear, but it is true and it's fairly important for hopefully, well, not hopefully, for life on this planet. Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Gaia, Isis, I don't know, all the other names that people have come up with, is healing the planet. And she's not happy with what these people have been doing to it. The ley lines are being fixed as we speak. The light is healing the planet. From there, we go to healing the people are being healed as well. Same thing, same light. Call that Ra. So between mom and dad, the healing's already started. And then it's up to us to wake up. And at some point, a decision will be made what to do with those people that conquered our planet, what to do with those beings. And that's already already spoken about, because in the book of Revelations, it tells you 1,000 years of peace. The four horsemen of the apocalypse were the planets in the sky a year ago or whatever. They've already come. They're doing their bit. They're in the sky doing their retrograde stuff. So that's already happening. The missiles that have been shot all over the place were, what was his name? John? Is he the one that talked to the missiles, the stuff falling from the sky? Those things are happening. So Jesus is, close, because those things that were talked about in the Bible already happening, already happened, already happening. So, and the reason why you're not being told anything is because nobody knows the day or date that Jesus is supposed to return. So we shall see when that is. And I think some people are going to get kicked up the backside. The only way, it's been proven, the stuff in the Bible has been proven to be correct. The only way it can be correct is if whoever wrote it was in the future. That's the only way. So, being as there's no such thing as time, because these conquerors made it up to put us in this vibration that we're in and this reality that we're in, to take us away from the 13 moon cycle and whatever, to keep us, out of this connection that we have with Source. All of it's been made up. So it will go back to the way that it was. As it was, so shall it be, etc. It will go back to the way that it was, and these people will be stopped from doing the things that they're doing. That's just the way that it is. And it's been written and spoken about. Everything that's been written and spoken about has come true, so therefore there's no reason to believe that this won't come true, even though they try to stop it, thinking that they're stalling what they don't want to happen, when in reality they're just confirming the prophecy that was written. That's just the way that it is. So, take care, everyone. Cheers, Trusted. Cheers, Davey, mate. Take care, everyone. Have a good sleep, because it's probably getting late for you lot as well. Ciao for now.